Here we go, baby. It is now time to recap the Arlington, Texas show Monster Jam Stadium Series Championship Round 2021 took off here in Arlington, Texas. And man, what a crazy-ass show it was. First of all, right out of the gate, we've got the lovely Miss Harley Johnson, soon-to-be Tweety, hanging out with us for the very first time on set, which is a really big deal. Then we got my good buddy, Austin Spence, up there in Michigan, hanging out with Kid Rock in the middle of Detroit, Rock City. And also, for the very first time ever making an appearance with us, we're talking about a guy who, when I went up to Monster Jam University, kind of took me under his wing, was like, hey, buddy, this is how we do stuff up here at Paxton. Don't know how you did it on the Independent Life. And by the way, speaking of Independent Life, my first year doing a Monster Jam tour, 2018, me and this guy literally had our trucks parked next to each other every show, and somehow we went an entire season and didn't say a one word to each other. And then here we go, Monster Jam University, and we're hanging out. He took me under his wing, showed me the ropes up there, hoping that I would leave there, and he was releasing me into the wild as a young caterpillar would blossom into a beautiful butterfly. Not sure that really happened, but for the first time ever, y'all, Stephen Leschinsky.
What's going on? Nice. Thanks for inviting me on the show tonight.
Oh, we thank you for joining us, good buddy. So I'll tell you what, fellas and lady, let's talk about Arlington, Texas, and what a show that was. Right out of the gate, we know Ryan Anderson, Ryan Riddell, Michael Peterson, Team BAKUGAN Dragonoid won. And we just want to say congratulations to y'all. Way to go for fighting so damn hard throughout this season. It was a killer season to try to battle COVID and the new rules that are in place. And boy, each and every show, y'all, they just went after it. Ryan drove the wheels off that truck. The crew put new wheels back on the truck whenever he did that. What do y'all got to say about it?
Well, I'm just happy to see that your favorite truck of the entire season won, Tweety. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah.
I know how much you love BAKUGAN, or BAKUGAN, I think is what you called it last episode.
Yep. Old BAKUGAN.
Your favorite truck of the season. But I got to say, I'm a little heartbroken because you and I, we were both pulling for our boy Todd LeDuc to pull out with the W, but he just was having so many issues, it seemed like, in skills. And I think the final round of racing, one of those days, he actually had some issues with his truck.
Yeah, he did. He lost the transmission going into the final round, which is so funny because we got a chance to meet up with LeDuc after the show. We had dinner with him, and I was like, man, I'm just going to tell you right now, I knew you pulling up to the line in that final round, there was something wrong with that truck, and he started laughing. He and Harley both were giving me a hard time. I'm like, no, I'm telling you. They went over, they parked next to each other, did the little, getting after it, and then he whipped it around to go into his end of the track, and he kind of like really slowed down, took a really wide turn, and I was like, this isn't good. I'm not even going to record this race. I can already tell it's going to be a disaster.
He put the phone down and was like, I'm not watching this anymore.
I mean, it could have been worse. He could have got beat by Zach, and he pulled it out against Zach on Sunday show, though.
Man, I got to tell y'all, Zach Garner, okay, this was his first stadium debut with Monster Jam, and in qualifying the day before the show was the second fastest qualifier. That is so badass, unheard of. I don't know that anybody else has ever done that in their stadium debut or even got close to that. That guy.
That was his very first pass ever on a stadium Chicago-style track was that. And he's just like, yeah, I'm out here driving. I got this. Love the kid to death. I mean, I love working for Jamie and Zach. They're a great family, great team to work for.
And Zach's going to be trouble in the future. And we'll get into that in just a minute. But so we've also got with this show, we've got the debut of the Monster Mutt Galaxy. And don't get me wrong, Lindsay Reed, the truck looks great. She piloted the truck well, but let's be honest. Everyone and their children knew what this truck looked like before it even debuted. What a disaster that ended up being. We knew what that truck looked like during the Houston show. I mean, come on.
Yeah, Monster Jam definitely dropped the ball on that one because there was definitely a few sources that even told us what the truck was. You have the debut of the whole new lineup of toys from Spin Master, I think it's called Gears versus Galaxies. So they told us what the truck was. We have a toy variant, and then some news reporter or something along those lines confirmed that it was that truck. Mm-hmm. And then a couple of weeks before the actual event, Monster Jam had somewhat of a, I guess you could say, Photoshop image on their website that they later took down to try and keep it a mystery of what that truck is. And it's like everyone literally knows what this truck is. These 4 pictures of like a close-up of what color the truck isn't going to do anything. So they definitely dropped the ball on that reveal, not going to lie.
They did drop the ball, but everyone there at the show loved the truck.
Yeah, they still
all the
loved
kids
it.
loved the truck. Personally, I didn't love it. From sitting in the seats, it looked like there was brown potatoes on the truck, on a purple truck. That's literally what it looked like to me.
She's not wrong. Yeah.
How do you think Brianna Mahan feels that truck stole her beadlocks?
Yeah, that was kind of weird. I wouldn't have picked that color to be the beadlock color on the truck. Yeah.
Yeah, a purple truck.
But,
you'd think you'd put purple beadlocks.
But nonetheless, it was the debut, and kids and everybody loved that truck. So we get into racing. Okay, we already talked about Zach Garner. And then in that first night, that Saturday night, Zach and Bari had probably the best race of the entire weekend. Such a badass race. Bari Musauer puts down a 19.104. Zach's time, 19.108. It doesn't really get much closer than that.
So my question is, with those results, did Zombie win by the arms of the truck or by actually the tires crossing the finish line?
I'd say he won by a fingernail off the arm of the truck.
Or he won by the skin of his teeth on that.
That's fair. Yeah.
I mean, but both solid racers. Seriously, give it up to Bari. Bari didn't lay down. Zach was not going to lay down. That's his first show. He came out swinging right off the bat.
And the thing about it, like you said, Bari wasn't laying down, but Bari is a damn good racer. It wasn't like he was just racing somebody who, rarely makes it to the finals. Or I mean, he was racing against one of the top. All the competitors on this tour, they're all great
World
racers.
contenders, all of them.
Yes.
I mean, you can't. There is no weak link in that whole lineup this year. I mean, being on tour with them all year, absolute stout lineup. I mean, whoever went to the shows this year got their money worth, I believe.
They did, and that led to an exciting points battle between the remaining 4 who had the chance to win that championship. So Adam is in the lead right now on Adam, Ryan, Todd, then Tom. And then so with that points battle going on, Todd wins racing. He really needed that. However, Ryan, I believe, made it to the semifinals. So Ryan was still getting some good points. Adam got knocked out pretty early that evening, if I'm not mistaken, y'all, that Saturday show.
Yep. He did. He got knocked out by, going through here. It looks like he got knocked out by Corey.
Yeah.
Corey Rommel.
Yeah, Corey Rommel. That was a good race. Corey ended up hitting a tire, and I'm not surprised if that messed up Adam going into that last turn. Not surprised at all. I could definitely see that. But anyways, Corey beats him and then meets LeDuc, Monster Energy, final round. LeDuc wins that. Really needed that for the points battle. Then we go into the skills competition, and that winning racing for Todd did absolutely nothing for him because he bombed so low in the skills competition.
Skills were not on his side that night.
Second to last in skills competition that evening, just ahead of Kristen Anderson and Gravedigger. Todd LeDuc scored a 6.434 in skills.
Yeah, he went up to try to hit a popper and then tried to do a bicycle. And it didn't work out for him. Yeah. Overboard, how did y'all's team do in skills that night? Saturday show, do you remember?
I definitely don't remember. I was in the back probably fixing something. Go ahead, Spence.
You guys lost to Monster Mutt Galaxy, which I'm surprised that it was even up that list. Basically, you guys were kind of in the middle.
Now, I'm going to complain about this for a minute, for just 1 second. Overboard started off a skills competition and had a badass run. It was great. He did the reverse popper, then did a stoppie, and I was like, how did he not win that? Like, that was such a good run by Jamie and Overboard.
Fan judging. Sorry.
We're going to get into that in a little bit as well. So, Adam wins in the shark truck, so he keeps his points alive. I know he did a nice wheelie and then did a bicycle as well. So Adam wins, helps his points. Then going into freestyle, LeDuc wins freestyle. So he had a really crazy night. Racing, 2-wheel, freestyle, and he was just short of the overall. I believe Tom won the overall that night, and it was honestly it was a great show to watch. A lot of the action in freestyle was great. The racing was obviously badass, and so going when that show ended, we had Adam in the lead with 390 points, followed by Ryan 389, Todd at 377, Tom at 375, and we had a lot of broken parts that night. Didn't we, Leschinsky?
Oh yeah, we did. Definitely did. I mean, bum luck on Zach. His very first stadium show, freestyle, goes out, first hit, lands, breaks the right rear spindle. I think it was right rear or left rear. Breaks the spindle. I felt devastated. I'm like, no. I mean, first time ever. Goes out and does that happen. That happens, and then Jamie, like always, he goes big. He goes hard in freestyle. That's one thing Jamie's going for. And the truck just gave out on Jamie. I mean, 2 right rear spindles gave out, 2 right side spindles gave out, and probably gave one of the highlights of the night on that with just the breakage on that truck. And we had a long night putting spindles on both trucks together, but they were ready to go for Sunday.
Damn straight. Y'all put in the work. Tom blew an engine. That was a really cool explosion to watch.
Yeah. Can we talk about that for a second? I have never seen, I've been to at least 4 or 5 shows where I've had to change a motor on Max D. I have never seen a white light like that ever on any truck that grenades itself. What happened? Does anybody have any idea what
Leschinsky, you probably got a better idea than what we do.
I have no clue. Like I said, I was working on team overboard stuff, and I think I was in the back before that happened. And before I know it was like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I realized I looked over at my former team, Team Paxton, and they were putting a motor in. I was like, wow, they got a motor? That's 2 out of 3 years. Tom's went to Arlington and blown a motor up first show out. So.
Not just that, he made his team work hard, and you know exactly what that's like being with the Paxton crew and making them earn their paycheck, because he came out of a skills competition and crashed hard, and you see Dyke back there cutting tubes out, refabbing, rewelding stuff, and then he blows a motor after the show. And so they got the blow motor. Y'all are putting wheels back on the trucks. The crew guys stayed late. It didn't matter really what team you worked for. They stayed up late. And we just want to give a round of applause to the crew guys for getting the Saturday show over with and back on to Sunday. Good job. And then we get into the Sunday show. The points battle is still alive and well. Ryan wins racing in old BAKUGAN Dragonoid. But it was a great race. It was an exciting race up until obviously when Todd goes to meet him in the final round. And they're ready for this great race, because racing has been, fantastic so far. I guess what we should talk about before that even started was Zach knocks out Adam in the first round of racing. Oh my gosh, my mind just whenever we saw that happen.
That was so exciting to watch.
That was
so exciting.
Awesome. Awesome.
That was huge for the championship, and I was when I looked at it on paper going into Sunday, I was like, wow, Zach's going up against Adam right off the bat. I was like, wow, here we go, Zach. And he, sure enough, he just laid his run down against Adam and just beat Adam straight out. I mean, Adam was a little behind. He pushed it as hard as possible in that last turn, just spun out on that last turn.
And something that I heard floating through the local rumor mill was that supposedly Adam had a bad axle and didn't know about it. But what I have to say about that is, looking at the times even, you don't win that race. You have to be in that race, first of all, to, if Adam slips up, or say some of the best drivers, they slip up. You have to be in that race to still beat them, right? And Zach was right there laying down one of the best runs. I mean, that boy's going to be trouble in the future. I'm telling you, he's going to break a lot of veterans' hearts.
Oh, God. I can tell you right now, from hearing from a couple of the drivers that this weekend, they were pretty scared of hearing Zach was going to be at that show and then look at practice times. And they were like, this kid is legitimately the serious deal on driving a monster truck. Yeah. And there's no reason why he wasn't supposed to be on the stadium tour. I mean, he's going to be good. I promise you right now, everybody get their fans start cheering for that kid because he's the next up and coming driver right now.
I so believe it. And I love that we're seeing this from an independent as well. It's not just like another, super talented company driver. No, this boy's coming out of the independent world. So getting back to it, Todd and Ryan meet in the finals, which is really not good for Todd's sake in the points battle because Ryan's just boosting his points up. So it's like, Todd, you can boost your points all the way up, but Ryan's not giving an inch. Team BAKUGAN, they're there to kill. And, Ryan wins. It wasn't that great of a race because Todd lost the transmission. And what was actually really cool was Ryan even admitted that on the microphone. He was like, you know what, I wanted to – he goes, I actually wanted to whip his butt the old-fashioned way, just talking about, it being a great race. But, we didn't get to see that race. That's okay. So Ryan wins racing. And then going into two-wheel, Todd didn't have a great two-wheel. Matter of fact, I think he got like 8th place maybe in two-wheel.
Yeah, he was pretty down there, 8th or 9th
Which
place.
he had a pretty decent, popper, stoppy, whatever you call it, into the moonwalk, but his second trick wasn't that great. Ryan gets second in two-wheel. We'll talk about that in a minute. I didn't think his two-wheel was deserving of a second place, but it is what it is. And then sure enough, they announced Ryan as the season champ after two-wheel. Mm-hmm. So Ryan is announced the champ. He technically wins the series, and then he goes out and he wins freestyle. And then, that was also another great concern of ours. Is like, we don't know how he won freestyle. We'll get to that in a minute. We're leading up to that. Steve, any comments from you as far as two-wheel and freestyle from that show? I'll give you my 2 cents. Honestly, was not impressed with freestyle in the Saturday show. It was like people were either crashing
With
early.
the Sunday show.
Sunday show. Sorry. People were either crashing early or breaking.
Yeah.
I wasn't that impressed with the freestyle. Steve?
Really didn't see much. I watched Zach. Zach scared the heck out of me on the freestyle when he hit the backflip ramp, and I just seen the corkscrew. My heart dropped for a second, and I was terrified. But like I said, that kid's talented.
Yes.
He got it through, landed, and just kept going. I was like, what just happened? And Jamie laid down another Jamie freestyle, just solid, good run for Jamie. That's what you expect out of Jamie. He's going to run his truck hard. So, I mean, I only watched those 2 trucks really because I was in the back more than anything this week, that past weekend. That's all I could say, really.
Now, before we go any further, I'm going to put this out into the universe just so that way we could go back on this and you see that I was right, because I've been right about quite a few of these matchups, Sweetie. You know this. Mm-hmm. Team Overboard is World Finals champion material, hands down.
Both drivers.
Oh, yeah,
all I guess you could say all 3 drivers?
There's 4. There's 4.
Oh, there's
drivers.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're also forgetting little John Zimmer. He's coming up right now, and that kid can also drive. I mean, Team Overboard's got a stacked lineup on their whole motorsports team. Cole Vinard, Jamie Gardner, Zach Garner, Little John, John Zimmer, and then you got Deidre Ballard, who's just as talented as a female driver as like Candace Jolly and Brie Mahan.
You're right. We've seen her doing some cool stuff in the independent world, doing the stoppies and all that, the poppers. And you're exactly right. They got a great stacked lineup. And, not just saying this because you're here now, but you got a great lineup of crew guys to work over there as well to keep those trucks running. Big A, Eddie. I mean,
you got Eddie over there. Josh Beasley was just there. He's been helping me the last year. He's been with Team Overboard the last year and a half. He's kept those trucks together. I came over this year, just adding help, and then we got good help over there. It's fantastic.
So we
Kinda
go.
Reminds me.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead. Go.
Kind of reminds me of Team Paxton with Josh Dyke, Lexi Warner, and Cooper Knuckles. It's another solid team.
Just a good team. Yeah, you're right. So you kind of brought me back to a point there. So I said, made the comment that freestyle wasn't that great to watch, but y'all's freestyle from your team was great, especially watching Zach. Gosh, just his motor, his throttle rhythm. I mean, he just sounds like he's been doing this for 25 years, and he's how old?
I think he's 20.
Yeah, I think he's 20.
Yeah, he's 20.
Damn it, man. He hit that back hook and just burping it around the track, just sliding around. I mean, he looks like he's been doing this, just for a long time. So he's
naturally gifted. I mean, that's the only thing I could say. He's like I said, you just got to keep watching him this year. He's only going to get better
I'll
from
make
here on
a
out.
pretty bold, what's going to sound like a bold statement, but I've always wondered, okay, we see that, guys like Ryan and Adam, these big time ballers for the company, what they could have possibly been like if they weren't brought up in the company. See what I mean? Like, not Monster Jam drivers. Maybe they were independents. What they would look like starting out. Maybe they look like Zach Garner starting out.
Maybe but Adam and Ryan were just naturals at behind the wheel just as much as Zach is right now. So it's going to be exciting to see where the future of monster trucks, monster jams going for the here on out. It's going to be amazing. I can tell you, tune in, go to local shows, watch Monster Jam, support it because it's only going to get better from here on out.
Yes, and we'll get to the sport and the independent shows and the local shows here in a minute. I want to get back to that. So yeah, that the freestyle wasn't that exciting to watch. Now let's get into all the good stuff that Harley and I picked up from that weekend. So we go out and I'm sorry, real quick, who won freestyle Sunday? It was Ryan, right?
Ryan.
It was Ryan, followed by Todd.
No, followed by Bari, then Todd.
Really?
Bari Musauer. Oh, I'm sorry, that's overall.
Yeah, you're looking at overall.
Yeah, sorry. No, freestyle, it was Ryan, then Todd, then Bari. Sorry.
Okay.
My mistake.
So now we're probably going to start a huge rumor on the show by discussing this subject right here. Harley and I are at the show.
Both shows.
Both shows, okay, Saturday and Sunday. We bought tickets just as regular fans would, sat in their seats, which was really unusual for us. We've never really seen a show from that point of view with, nachos in our hands, our phone in the other, and we really got to see what it's like from a fan's point of view in the show. So let's talk about something that we noticed. And we'll show this clip right now during the playback, but when it came time to vote, at the end of a freestyle run or a skills run, nobody's voting. Nobody, not one fan in our section that we were sitting in.
Nobody in eye view of us. Not one person up with the phone. If they are holding a phone, they're recording whatever is going on. They're not voting or care about voting at all.
And there wasn't a lot of that either. Okay, and mind you, we went to both Saturday and Sunday show, and we have video evidence.
Sat in different sections.
Sat in different sections. Nobody is voting, which makes me wonder who's voting.
Well, we know it's not the crew guys because they're too busy throwing wrenches and parts everywhere. But yeah, I remember. I know I've seen the clip you actually showed me, Tweety, and it's pretty sad because normally at the end of a show, a lot of people that go there, that are spectators, are tired, and once the last truck is finished, a lot of people want to beat the traffic. They're trying to leave the stadium, get on out of there, go home, enjoy the rest of their evening. So yeah, the last run of the night, and nobody votes, yet he still ends up winning freestyle. So who's actually casting in the votes?
Which leads us to believe, okay, we've seen fans ask this question all season long. Why aren't drivers in the normal trucks? For example, Adam and Ryan. And we look at it as, our theory was, okay, you see Ryan in a corporate sponsored truck because we know that we got to make those sponsors happy for Monster Jam. There's Monster Jam dropped the ball on doing anything for almost a year, and now we got to make them happy. So you put one of your best drivers in a company sponsored truck. Maybe somebody in the back at Monster Jam was doing a little tweaking with the scores. Maybe at the end of the season, the top four isn't Ryan, Todd, Adam, Tom. Maybe there's an independent thrown in there somewhere if the scores are really dead accurate. Because I'm telling you right now, there are scores that we saw just at that show alone were nowhere even close to being accurate. Like I said, I feel like Jamie should have at least, if he didn't win first place in one of the skills competitions, he should have been second or third. He should have been up there, and he wasn't even close. That didn't make any sense at all. Then Ryan comes out, does one move in skills, still rolls it, doesn't even complete the move, and gets second or first place. Didn't make any sense to me. And we could say that for other drivers as well. But my point is, where's this fan judging? How accurate is it? Because we didn't see it at either show.
I don't think it's accurate at all. And you know me, I've never been a fan of fan judging whatsoever. I grew up going to these events where you either had volunteers or there were officials in the stands that had a scorecard, and whether it was out of 30 or there's 5 cars, they drop the low number, drop a high number, and go with the in-between numbers and tally it up best out of 30. to me, that seemed like it was a more fair judging style of competition. This average score where everyone has their phones out there, it's up for debate. Is this actually accurate, or is there just some powers that be up in the video booths that's actually controlling the actual scores, to where everything you're doing on your phone is just a ruse? It might not actually matter.
Yeah. Steven, any comment before we move forward?
I mean, I'm just a crew guy. I just work on it. I mean, you can see my reactions usually. I mean,
if they put the camera right on you, we can see
during the scoring of cameras. But I don't know. I do have faith in the system. Actually, I bet you throughout the crowd there might be somewhere where there's a section that's judging. I got a faith in the system. So, as a crew guy, that's all I can say is just have faith in the system. Just hope for honesty, and that's what I see. I mean, I can tell by the crowd there, just by the judging, they were there to see some stuff breaking. I mean, they were there to see some destruction, and that's what you usually get for a Monster Jam show. You're going to see some trucks run hard and break, and that's what people come to see sometimes. So.
And coming back to it, we talked about, the debut of the Monster Mutt Galaxy truck. They kind of dropped the ball on that. But Lindsay Reed did a really good job of piloting the truck, I thought, during that weekend. She did a great job. She had a great save Saturday night, and her two wheels weren't bad either night. So, I mean, the truck looks really good. Harley was saying, from a distance, it looks like there's some potatoes or something hanging off the side of the truck. They're comments.
Little asteroids or something.
Yeah, on the side of the truck. So from a distance, it looks like what she was saying. Just looked kind of funny. But truck does look good. Fans absolutely love it. They're ready to see it come back and do some more shows. Moving on to something else we got to say with the Arlington show, as a whole. We'd mentioned in the second day that LeDuc lost the transmission. Crew guys had that thing back. Didn't miss an element. That is so nuts that these crew guys can do that with these trucks. They can replace an entire transmission in 7 to 15 minutes.
There's definitely some talented guys in the back. I promise you that. I mean, that whole team back there working in their bubbles, working with their mask, getting trucks back out is pretty impressive for today's standards. I mean, give a shout out to all those crew guys.
Oh, we're going
both on the independent and on the Monster Jam side of things. 100%. They worked their butts off this year.
Absolutely. Round of applause real quick for all you crew guys out there. Way to go, y'all.
That's fucking teamwork.
That's never gonna get old.
No, it ain't ever going to go. No, strictly for the crew guys. And then moving forward, what can we expect to see from the upcoming shows with Monster Jam? Who knows? We may have current drive, big time balls for Monster Jam. We don't know what the state of their contracts are. They could be dropping out before too much longer. We don't know that. We know we've got plenty of talented drivers on the rosters, both male and female. They might be coming back. We see that Cynthia Gauthier is going to be at the St. Louis show now, driving the Monster Mutt Dalmatian Galaxy truck. Who knows who else we could see coming back? Comments from y'all?
I mean, in a couple weeks, I'm going to Des Moines, and I mean, you're going to have Adam there. You're going to have, who else is there with the company?
What is this, an arena show?
The arena show with Tyler. Tyler's there. Tyler's driving the Gravedigger.
Oh, okay.
No, Meninga's coming back. All right.
And is Tristan England coming back to that show?
Yep.
I think he is too.
Man, it's been way too long since we've seen that boy in a truck.
I don't know if he's driving that show. I think it's R2, Cole Bernard, Jamie Garner, and then I don't know who the other two. I think 6 trucks there. Definitely go get your tickets at monsterjam.com for that one. And then I think Tristan's driving down in the south. I think South Carolina, maybe? I don't know. One of those shows down there. I mean, you're going to start seeing some of the arena drivers coming back, which is going to be awesome. I mean, I'm happy to see Monster Jam coming back as strong as they are right now.
We all are. This tour right here is either make it or break it, and it looks like they made it. And there's some stuff coming back now, and it's awesome. We love seeing that. So, with that being said, though, when Monster Jam was out, who carried the monster truck world but the independents? Okay? And before Monster Jam even existed, there was no such thing as a company or Monster Jam, so there were independents. So guess what? Monster Jam is wrapping up, but here on the Throttle Out show, we're going to be covering more independents now. We're getting back to the root of good old-fashioned monster trucking. We are going to be covering the independent world. But that's basically a wrap for this episode. Leschinsky, my man, I just want to thank you for joining us for the first time. You're more than welcome to come back anytime you want.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And that's basically a wrap for the Arlington recap, a.k.a. the season recap, the championship round. We got to witness that firsthand. A couple good shows to watch. The action was great. The fans were loud. And we're ready for some more of it. So from all of us here at the Throttle Out Show, we just want to thank you for watching. Plenty more to come. And please don't ever forget, remember, when in doubt, throttle out. Peace out, y'all.